There's a lot to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies these voices, stories and reports that make the difference. This is Agidigbo News, 88.7 FM.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening. Welcome to the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Olamide Badmus. First, the headlines. Federal government begins documentation of traditional medicine practitioner. Oyo Assembly commences investigation over lawmaker bribery allegation. United Kingdom to consult on social media ban for under 16s. Togo expels former Burkina Faso leader after co-plot claim. Nigeria climbed to 2016 FIFA rankings, third best in Africa. Now the details. The Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, NNMDA, says it has started creating a comprehensive national database of traditional medicine practitioners as part of efforts to standardize and strengthen the sector. The Director General of NNMDA, Professor Martin Zemeje, said this today in an interview with newsmen in Abuja, following his appointment as co-chair of the World Health Organization Strategic and Technical Advisory Group on Traditional, Complementary and Integrative Medicine, STAG-THEM, in December 2025. Professor Emeje said that about 80% of Nigerians, estimated at over 160 million people, relied on traditional medicine, particularly those in rural communities who lacked access to conventional health care. According to the agency boss, the initiative will bring sanity to the ecosystem and earns credibility and create more visibility for the country's natural medicine in the global space, while adding that the agency would verify the records and then issue practitioners' identification numbers as it would have the full coordinate of their clinics. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned the public to disregard a false article circulating online, claiming the Commission has released the timetable for the 2027 general elections. In a statement today via its official channels, INEC described the information as inauthentic and should be disregarded in its entirety, stressing that it has not released any official timetable, schedule of activities or date of the 2027 general elections. According to the statement, all the details in the first article, including specific election date, campaign periods, and party primary windows, are entirely speculative and without any official basis, as they do not represent the plans or position of INEC. The Commission further urged Nigerians, political parties, civil society groups, and all stakeholders to rely on a verified INEC channels for official updates, including its website, verified social media accounts, and official press statements. The Oyo State House of Assembly has commenced an investigation into allegations of bribery made by Honorable Ibrahim Shitu, representing Shakil West constituency. The majority leader, Honorable Naolapo Adedoyin, accused Honorable Shitu of making defamatory and malicious allegations against him and the State Assembly leadership. Agidigbo FM news correspondent Oluwapemi Bamidele was at the plenary held at the hallowed chambers of the Oyo State House of Assembly complex. Here is the report.
The Oyo State House of Assembly held its first plenary session for the year today. The sitting was ushered in with prayers, both Christian and Muslim way.
Into your able hands. The Bible says, with wisdom, house is built. I pray for these ones that you will grant them wisdom. Pray to Almighty Allah to continue to spare our life, for we have not done anything differently from those who have gone.
During a plenary session, the majority leader, Honorable Sonjo Adedoyin, during personal explanation, accused a fellow lawmaker representing Shaki West State constituency, Honorable Ibrahim Shitu, of making defamatory and malicious allegations against him and the leadership of the assembly. Honorable Adedoyin described Honorable Shitu's comments as a grave infringement on his legislative privileges and a direct attack on his integrity and the institution, and appealed to the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly to invoke the House powers to investigate the matter.
He went further to malign the assaulted office of the Honorable Speaker, that of Right Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, alleging that the Speaker was only because of justice due to political party sentiment. Such insinuations are not only false but also dangerous, as they attempt to portray this House as partisan and unjust. Let it be firmly stated that the Oyo State House of Assembly has never been involved in political favorism. Furthermore, Honorable Chitu will put the House Pressure and All Committee that carry out oversight function in Oyo North, where Shaki West falls. He has put the committee of wrongdoing, despite the fact that he deliberately absented himself from this important assignment, as has been his habitual practice in the House. His absence from political legislative duties will follow about his commitment to the locality entrusted to him by his constituents.
In his remarks, the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, cautioned lawmakers against making unnecessary and unfounded comments that could ignite tension, mislead the public, and undermine legislative institutions. The Speaker referred the matter to the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges for investigation and report back to the House within 1 week.
The committee to do its job without any such sentiment, and because you cannot be the judge in your own case, we will exclude, we will remove, as from this moment, Honorable Shitu from the said committee, and we will replace Honorable Shitu with another member.
The controversy arose from the speech delivered by Honorable Shitu during a public program in Shaki Town, which was widely circulated on all social media platforms. In another development, the Oyo State House of Assembly has called on the Ministry of Education and Oyo State Post-Primary Teaching Service Commission (TESCOM) to monitor compliance with the government policy on the new academic structure in all secondary schools in the state. The directive entailed that the House required the MDAs to ensure that students meet a minimum of 80% class attendance and 50% mark in at least 5 subjects, including English language or mathematics.
Aside from the circular, the Commissioner for Education held a presumption meeting with all principals, which focus on reinforcing the policy of 80% classroom attendance and informing principals about the review on continuous assessment text mechanism to be aligned with the attendance and performance of students. 2.4.
Other recommendations adopted by the House include encouraging school administrators to organize workshops to guide teachers, increase public sensitization and awareness about continuous assessment structure. The recommendation was also to support school administrators to develop internal strategies on how to curb absenteeism and to provide mobility support for tutors general and local inspectors of education to carry out effective monitoring and supervision. Oluwapemi Bamidele, Agidigbo FM News.
The Coalition of Magistrates, Presidents of Grade Customary Court and Legal Research Offices in Ondo State have called off their 2 weeks industrial action over judicial autonomy and improved welfare, as the judicial activities had been grounded across the state following the strike action. The suspension of the strike action was contained in a statement jointly signed today by the leaders of the coalition, Mrs. O. Edwin, Mr. Degun Rotiba and Mrs. Agbomola, while explaining that the discussions involved all key stakeholders, including the coalition, the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, and government representatives. The statement said that critical issues such as the provision of official vehicles for magistrates and presidents of Grade A customary courts, as well as a new salary structure for magistrates, presidents, and legal research officers were thoroughly considered during the negotiations. The coalition also expressed appreciation to its members for their steadfastness throughout the industrial action, the executive of the JUSUN for its strategic cooperation, the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) for its understanding, and members of the public for their patience during the strike, while adding that further details of the agreement reached with the government would be communicated to members at the subsequent meeting. It is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kuliamza Studio at Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola. The United Kingdom government will consult on whether social media should be banned for under 16s in UK. This comes after more than 60 Labour MP wrote to the Prime Minister about the issue, although some argue that vulnerable children need access to social media to find their community. According to the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology, the consultation will seek views from parents, young people, and civil society to determine the effectiveness of the ban. It will also look at whether more robust checks could be implemented by social media firms, which could be forced to remove or limit features which drive compulsive use of social media. Meanwhile, a similar ban took effect in Australia in December 2025, the first of its kind in the world, while other countries are said to be considering such law. Brooklyn Beckham has said he does not want to reconcile with his family in his first public comments, addressing reports about his relationship with Nicola. He said he had tried to keep the situation private, but was left with no choice but to speak out. Much of the statement focused on his relationship with his wife, the American actress, and the daughter of the billionaire businessman, Nelson Petz, whom he said had been consistently disrespected by his family. He, however, accused his parents of trying to derail their wedding. And that ends the news from Kuliamza Studio at Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
Welcome back. Now we shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday there was no going back on his goal to control Greenland, refusing to rule out taking the Arctic island by force and rounding on allies as European leaders struggled to respond. Trump's ambition spelled out in social media posts and mock-up AI images to wrest sovereignty over Greenland from fellow NATO member Denmark has threatened to blow apart the alliance that has underpinned Western security for decades. It has also threatened to reignite a trade war with Europe that rattled markets and companies for months last year, though Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent pushed back against what he called hysteria over Greenland. Separately, he leaked messages including from French President Emmanuel Macron, who questioned what Trump was doing on Greenland. Trump, who has vowed to impose tariffs on countries that stood in his way, had earlier threatened to hammer French wines and champagnes with a 200% tariff. Togo has arrested and expelled Burkina Faso's former president to his home country after officials there accused him of attempting a coup, according to reporters. Paul Henri Damiba came to power in 2022 after a coup against Burkina Faso's civilian government, which has lost support over rising violence by Islamic militants. Damiba's failure to stop the militant group led to anger in the ranks of the armed forces in the former French protectorate, and he was ousted in a coup later the same year by Ibrahim Traoré, who continues to lead the military-led government. Earlier this month, Burkina Faso announced it has disrupted a plot to kill Traoré, allegedly orchestrated by Damiba, who had sought refuge in the Togolese capital, Lomé. And that ends the news from Kule Hamzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya.
Welcome back once again now in the exciting world of sports. Nigeria's men's national football team, the Super Eagles, have climbed to the 26th place in the latest FIFA World Cup rankings, their highest global position since 2010. The Super Eagles moved up 12 places from 38 in the previous rankings released by World Football's governing body, which the new position is Nigeria's best in over 15 years, having last reached a comparable ranking in May 2010 when they were placed 21st globally. The improved rankings follows Nigeria's strong showing at the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco, where the team finished third. FIFA said the latest rankings reflect performances across competitive international matches, with Nigeria among the teams recording one of the highest point gains during the ranking period, and its next ranking update is expected in April after the March international window. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. Federal government begins documentation of traditional medicine practitioner. Oyo Assembly commences investigation over lawmaker bribery allegation. United Kingdom to consult on social media ban for under-16s. Togo expels former Burkina Faso leader after coup plot claim. Nigeria climbed to 26th in FIFA rankings, third best in Africa. And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Never limit yourself because of others. Limited imagination. Never limit others because of your own limited imagination. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station at Gidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Olamide Badmos. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information. And information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out of school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo